Fortune's Progeny, The Ascent, Episode 6, The Dividend and the Unseen Enemy. The waiting was the hardest part. A full week passed after Trent submitted his Project Rootstock proposal. A week filled with the mundane rhythms of the avalanche. Another $665 stripped from the personal loan. Another entry in the stewardship log. Another quiet Thursday coffee with Maya. But beneath the surface, a current of anxious anticipation churned. He had gambled on humanity over data. The wait would tell him if the trustees valued a different kind of insight. When the notification finally arrived, it was not through Silas, but directly via the Vault's messaging system. The header read, Greenwise Challenge, Trustee Feedback. Trent's finger hovered over the trackpad, his heart hammering against his ribs. This was the first direct evaluation of his mind, not just his money management. He opened it. The message was brief and unsigned, stripped of any personal warmth. Proposal, Project Rootstock, Assessment, Divergent. While other contenders focused on digital conversion metrics and margin optimization, you identified the core asset we had neglected, community, latent in the trade area. Your solution is low-cost, high-touch, and leverages existing resources, space, local expertise, adjacent businesses. It demonstrates systems thinking, seeing the store not as an isolated unit, but as a node in a local network. This is the foundational logic of the Aethelgard portfolio. Well noted. Proceed to the next phase. No score, no ranking against Felicity or the others, just well noted. In the cryptic, understated language of the protocol, it felt like a standing ovation. When Silas arrived for their weekly check-in, his raised eyebrow was the only acknowledgement of the milestone.
You chose empathy over analytics as your primary tool. A risk. It seems the trustees have a soft spot for the human algorithm.
It wasn't empathy instead of analytics.
Trent corrected, the clarity of his own reasoning surprising him.
It was empathy to inform the analytics. The data said declining foot traffic. The woman with the tomatoes told me why. The solution had to address the why. The analytics were useless without the story.
Silas gave another of his rare, approving nods.
You are beginning to integrate the steps. Foundation step 1 was self-control. Step 2 is relentless focus. This challenge asked for step 7 thinking, building wealth to create value for others. You simply started at the end with the community.
The victory had a tangible effect. At work, Claire mentioned he seemed more engaged, more present. With Maya, the Thursday coffee ritual deepened into something more, a genuine reconnection, a rebuilding of the trust his intensity had eroded. For the first time, he felt less like a debtor apologizing for his existence and more like a partner sharing a win. He logged it in the stewardship binder under a new category he created, Psychological Capital. Entry, solved a problem by observing real people, not just data. The trustees valued the insight. Confidence is a compound interest earned on small, validated wins. My return on this challenge was non-financial, but critical. It has spillover effects into work, relationships, and my own sense of self. This, perhaps, is the true wealth the foundation steps are designed to build. The calm after the victory was shattered by a sharp, intrusive buzz from his building's intercom. It was Stan, the super, his voice gruff and uncomfortable.
Ashford, it's Stan from downstairs. We gotta talk, in person, now.
The meeting in the shabby building manager's office was short and brutal. The building had been sold to a developer. A major gut renovation was scheduled. All month-to-month leases, including Trent's, would be terminated in 90 days.
Look, kid, it's not personal.
Stan said, not unkindly, pushing a formal notice across the desk.
Here's your official notice. You got 3 months. You'll get your security deposit back, assuming no damage.
Trent walked out in a daze. Rent in the city had exploded. A comparable studio would cost at least $400 more per month. his meticulously balanced budget, his avalanche calculation, his entire financial architecture. It was all built on the foundation of his current rent. This wasn't an $1,100 car repair. This was a tectonic shift in his financial geography. Panic, cold and slick, began to rise in his chest. His mind raced through worst-case scenarios, draining his emergency fund for a deposit, his avalanche stalling, moving in with Leo, failing. He called Silas, his voice tighter than he intended.
This is a test of the system's integrity, not a failure of it. What is Foundation Step 1?
Silas said, after listening calmly.
$1,000 emergency fund?
Trent exclaimed, exasperation bleeding through.
Silas, this isn't an emergency. This is a lifestyle asteroid. $1,000 won't cover this.
Correct. The starter emergency fund is for the car repair. This is a different class of problem. This is why we march towards Step 3, the 3 to 6 month full emergency fund. You do not have that yet, so you must solve this with the tools you do have: intense focus, flexibility, and the avalanche.
Trent forced himself to be silent, to listen. Silas continued.
You have 3 months. Your mission is to find a new housing solution without increasing your monthly housing outflow. This will require sacrifice: a longer commute, a smaller space, a less desirable neighborhood, or a roommate. You will use these 90 days to hunt, to negotiate, to hustle. You do not pause the avalanche. You adapt the plan around it. The enemy is not the rent increase. The enemy is the belief that your current standard of living is immutable. It is not. Your flexibility is your wealth right now.
The panic didn't vanish, but it transmuted into a grim, determined energy. The challenge was no longer abstract financial principles. It was finding a roof that wouldn't break the bank. He spent the evening not on freelance work, but on rental listings, map grids, and commute calculators. He saw the truth with brutal clarity. His old life in that specific apartment was over. The Progeny protocol demanded evolution. He texted Maya.
Building got sold. I'm being evicted in 90 days. Time for a new adventure.
Her reply was immediate.
I know a great architect. Let's find you a fortress.
For the first time all night, Trent smiled. The foundation wasn't the apartment. The foundation was the system and the people who helped him hold it together. The fortress would be built anew, on different ground, but it would be built.